This week, we've got Pro UTV and Pro 4 driver Kyle Chaney on to talk about racing in a world where there currently is no racing. Strap in as we bring you up to the race pace. And welcome back to Race Pace, sponsored by CW Motorsports. I'm Doug.
And I'm Chad.
And guess what? Nobody's racing. Well, I guess that wasn't exactly news to all of you, but we've got something even better for you. We've got Kyle Chaney, Pro UTV and Pro 4 truck driver, here with us today to spend a few minutes just kind of talking about how he's filling the time, maybe some plans for the race season once it does ramp back up, because we all have faith right now that we are going to go racing at some point this year. So, Kyle, thanks a ton for coming on, and how are you holding on over there in Ohio?
Oh, man, I'm holding on, just trying to get builds done. I got a car at CT Raceworks right now. My short course car's down there, so they're finishing that up for me, and I just finished up my King of Hammers car. I just kind of went over it and changed all the parts out that needed to be changed, and just kind of sitting here not doing much. I mean, our gyms are shut down, and we've been having a lot of rain here and stuff, so I've been trying to get a lot of mountain biking in, and I try to wake up in the morning and do some push-ups and body weight exercises, but I didn't buy a home gym soon enough, so I guess I should have invested in a home gym. I've always been going to the gym, and I always took for granted that it was there, and now it's not there, so kind of sucks.
I've got a friend who is pretty big into working out, and so he's stuck at home as well, and he said it's amazing how little motivation there is to do it when you're stuck at home.
That's true. I mean, I used to wake up every morning, and I'd go to the gym every morning, 5 days a week, not think about it. And, now I wake up and I sleep in, and I don't know. I don't have like the motivation, since it's not there, like to wake up to do some push-ups and some lunges around the house just doesn't get it for me.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that. Well, since you mentioned King of the Hammers, I think everybody's wondering, how's the foot?
Actually, it's just the last couple weeks, week or so, it's been getting better. Right after the race, it was pretty bad. It was really swollen there. Actually, both my feet were really swollen there for a while. And then, I didn't want to go to the doctor, but everybody, my girlfriend, everybody made me go. So I went to where my 4 toes were dislocated on my right foot. It broke the bone behind it. And, still like my 4 toes are numb. I can't really feel them, which, I've heard from a lot of people that sometimes it takes a year to get feeling back in them. So, but they're actually doing really good. I can actually wear a shoe now. And like usually when I put a shoe on, it would when I take the shoe off, like it would pop back out. Like I put the shoe on and, it would like hold it in place, and I take a shoe off and it would like pop my foot back out. Cause they wanted me to wear one of them air boots, but I don't know, I'm stubborn and can't walk around very good in one of those. But, just the last couple of weeks, it's been good. It's getting better. So, it'll be 100% here real soon.
What was it like driving on that? I mean, was there so much adrenaline you just didn't feel it, didn't really notice it to the end? Or what was that like trying to finish a race with a busted foot?
Yeah, I didn't really notice it at all. I was just trying to make it to the finish line. So, I mean, it could have been worse. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, even when, like, my toes were sticking up in the air, like, it didn't even register like that. What happened? I just probably within a half a second, I looked at them, noticed I couldn't get my shoe on, and just pushed them back down straight so I could get my shoe on. And it didn't really register. I was just wanting to finish the race.
Wow.
Yeah, that's super tough. I mean, good on you.
I mean, when you got that much adrenaline going, it's, it'd have to take something, pretty bad for, to not finish a race.
Throw your arm in the back of the car and keep going, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
The faster you finish, the faster you can get medical attention.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and so after the race, I was pretty sore. Like once I got out of the car, like on the podium, I realized how sore and bad I was. But yeah, I mean, finishing the race, it didn't bother me at all.
So your race program for 2020, I know everything's got the brakes put on it right now, but what are some things that you had planned on doing a little bit differently this year, changes to your race team, that kind of thing, going into 2020, and are those plans still, when we do get back to racing, maybe June or July, are those still going to be happening?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I haven't missed a race yet. From this, my next scheduled race wasn't till the side-by-side sports race, which I think's in like the first weekend in June. So like I said, I haven't missed a race yet. I was planning on maybe going down to like Texplex in April and maybe doing a race or something, but I didn't have anything like on the actual contract. But this year's pretty much the same thing as last year. I'm going to go out and do the UTV World Championship, all the side-by-side sports events, that new champ series for the short course this year, the Heartland Challenge. I may do a couple AXCCs, if I get time, but, mainly try to focus on the Pro 4, doing that whole series this year in the Pro 4.
What is it like driving that Pro 4? Because that's something that's got to be just miles different than a side-by-side.
Yeah, it's miles different. I mean, like I tell a lot of people, like the first time I went to drive one, it was actually CJ's truck. And I pulled in the parking lot and like my palms started sweating. Like I was like, it was scary. Like, and you get in it and the thing's loud and fast and it's obnoxious. And, one wrong mistake and you're in the K-rail, the things just, they're awesome. I mean, once you learn to drive them, which I haven't yet, they're probably almost easier than a side-by-side, I'd say, once you really get the hang of it. Because you can really use the power to throw the truck around. But, I think it's sitting in the garage all winter, and I've got to talk to her a lot. I think we're going to mesh a little better next year.
Yeah. You guys have worked out a deal, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been talking to her, and, we're going to cooperate with each other next year. And, I'm excited to learn how to drive it.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I just had the thought of the definition of marital compromise. You want to do one thing and she wants to do the other thing. So you compromise and you do what she wants to do.
Yeah. I mean, so it's kind of like, in the side-by-side, I pretty much can put it wherever I want. I can control it. And I feel like, I'm in 100% control all the time. In the truck, when I first started driving it, those first couple races, like I was not in control of the thing. Like it drove me, but I was scared of it. And, I'm not scared of it anymore. So, I'm really excited to get back in and be able to drive it, without being, scared of it, because it's scary to drive. I mean, your first couple of times, those things they can get away from you real fast.
Well, for around 900 horse, right?
Yeah. 900 horse. And,
yeah.
You're throwing them into a corner, and it's just the braking and everything is totally different from like a side-by-side. When I think I need to brake, it's almost like, Johnny was telling me, like, first time I was driving the truck, he was on the radio with me, and I was braking actually too late. Like, you want to brake early and get the truck turned and, use the power to keep the slide going. So it's definitely, I definitely got a good teacher. I'm thankful that Johnny's helping me out. Johnny and CJ, some of the best Pro 4 racers, ever. So, I'm glad that they're helping me out and, teaching me some of their tricks.
Yeah.
No, it's, I was thinking about that earlier today as I was kind of prepping to get this show going. It's like, man, to be in a vehicle like that, 900 horsepower, the weight difference, the suspension travel difference. I mean, a lot of people probably think it's just the same thing, but a little bit faster. But yeah, they've got to be just totally different beasts. So imagine it's kind of fun figuring that out, though. Like you said, there's a bit of fear up front, but honestly, you're somebody that likes a challenge. So I imagine, learning to tame that beast is probably right up your alley.
Yeah, no, I mean, really this year, like I said, I feel like I've, almost like mastered, the side-by-side. I feel like wherever I go, I can at least compete for a podium spot, where in the Pro 4, I feel like that's the next challenge that I need to take, over, besides King of Hammers this year, which was what I wanted to win. It was a race I wanted to win this year. So, I felt like we went out there and we did a good job. I felt like, a podium spot was good for us, but, for the rest of the year, yeah, I'm going to be focusing on the side-by-side, but, I really want to learn the Pro 4. And like I said, last year we had a race where we had the Pro 4 race, and then the next race was the Pro Mod side-by-side.
Wow.
So out of the Pro 4 to take the helmet off. Things not going very fast or something wrong, and like I'm just like kept looking behind me like to see if Rod was like coming, not catching me, but I feel like there's something wrong with the car because it's not very fast. But just getting out of that Pro 4, so that thing is like just the G-force that it has. Like when you go into a corner, it's and I can only imagine what it'd be like driving a NASCAR.
Yeah,
flying a jet.
Well, one of the things we've been talking about to kill some time is kind of where our racing programs started and where they are now. So you got people posting pictures of Razor 800s, and now they're in a X3 and that kind of stuff. So for people who may not be super familiar with give us a little rundown of your side-by-side racing career, kind of where you started, the machine you started in, and what you're in now.
Yeah, so I mean it's funny. I actually I was racing GNCCs on dirt bikes, but I had 5 knee surgeries. So in between one knee surgery, I saw they were racing the side-by-sides at the GNCC, and this was probably 2010. So I ended up getting a loan from my grandma, and I bought a Can-Am Commander X, had like the Fox shocks on it and stuff. I thought it was freaking cool. So I bought it, and then I went to a GNCC, and I made it like 2 laps and hit a tree and ripped the tie rod off. So, but like, man, we were going fast. Like, I think we can do good. And it was just me and my buddy Denny. He rode with me. And anyway, we went to the next one. We got tie rods and wheels and tires, and we went to the next race. And the next race, we actually podiumed. We got 3rd in a Commander, and that was back when, Kiger had the Coastal team. They had like 10 or 15 players-backed racers, and then Yoakley had the National Guard team, and I mean it was really a stacked field back in the day. The Joe Kretschlich or whatever. I mean there was really some really good drivers back in the day. So to podium on a stock Commander, I thought was awesome. But you ain't gonna do that now. I mean you can't go out there with a stock machine now. And do that. But back in the day you could, and so that's how I started. And then my next race was the GNCC in Indiana. It was actually called the Indy 100, and it was super muddy, and we ended up winning the race. And then after that race, Can-Am actually came and talked to us, and we got to race for their team the rest of the year. So I pretty much just got to put my unit up for sale and race theirs the rest of the year. And it's pretty much from then I've been with Can-Am since 2011, and we rode for their factory teams for 4 years. I rode on the Warner team the first year, and then Moto Works the next year, and then JB Racing the following couple years. And then I don't know, I felt like I could do a better job myself. I felt like I could probably put more effort into it, because these other teams, they were doing quads and other stuff too. So sure. I felt like the side-by-side needed more effort, because really they do. I mean, it takes a lot more work and a lot more effort in a side-by-side than it does a quad or a dirt bike. So, and those teams just weren't, they didn't know that at the time. They just thought, wash them and change air filter just like they do a quad and put them back out there, which, side-by-side, you don't do that. So no. Can-Am gave me my own team in 2014, and we ended up winning the GNCC championship that year, the next year. And then, I've been doing my own team since then. So everything's been good. Now I never figured I would ever make it to a Pro 4, but I guess dreams come true sometimes. You just got to keep pushing and doing hard work, and you'll get there, I guess.
I guess knee surgery was a good thing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would have never made it on a dirt bike. I was good, I mean, I was a pro, on a dirt bike, but same thing as side-by-sides. It's like only the top guys make a living at it. You're even in Supercross, only your top so many can actually make a living. Same thing as side-by-side. I mean, so in a dirt bike, I'd have never made it. I'd have just been kept racing, and who knows what I've been doing now? Probably nothing. I'd probably ride a dirt bike still, but I'd probably not have a good job. I don't know, because I didn't go to college. Most of my time, focusing on racing and training for racing. So that's what I'm
having audio troubles here. Hopefully Kyle comes back here in a second. There we go.
I got you.
Okay.
There we go.
The marvels of technology. No, you really got in on the ground floor with Can-Am. We were talking the other day. It's amazing how much this side by side, just the sport, has changed in the past 10 years. I mean, nothing else really mirrors it. Dirt bikes and quads took a fair amount of time to evolve into what they are now, and then they've plateaued. But I mean, in 10 years, you're going from 800cc machines with 50 some odd horsepower to these machines. I mean, the new Can-Ams now come from the factory with touching 200. It's incredible just how fast everything has changed.
Oh, it is. It's crazy, and luckily, I got in with Can-Am, early. They're a great, it's a family. We've been together, for almost 10 years now, and hopefully get another decade out of it. So, yeah, I mean, and I'm super happy to be with them. They Can-Am. I don't know about some of the other companies, but Can-Am uses the racers a lot, for what we break. And, if we break parts, they actually want to know, and they want to look at it and see why it broke. And then a lot of times they use that in production for, new units to come out, beef stuff up that we've broke. And, it shows. I mean, especially at King of Hammers this year. I mean, I don't think you guys have ever been out there, but the rocks are crazy. I mean, no video and no photo does it justice. So I mean, it's really crazy what these machines can actually do.
Yeah, that's on my bucket list to get out there. I plan on getting out there this year, assuming we actually go back racing. But
right.
Yeah, I can just imagine, because looking at size comparison versus the tires, the rocks look big, but I know video just never does any of it justice.
No, not at all. And I raced with 35-inch tires this year on a side-by-side. Isn't that crazy? 35.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, that used to be big on a truck, 15 years ago. That was massive on a truck. Now you're putting them on a side-by-side and running at speed, and you didn't really have any, car issues because of it or anything.
No, I mean, I had an oil seal go out of the tranny, which, that was just a fluke thing,
right.
That had nothing to do with the tires. And, pretty much, we ran a stock driveline, stock, I had Demon front axles, but I had stock rear axles, stock transmission, stock diff. I mean, it was all stock, and it made it through 150 miles of the nastiest terrain,
wow.
In the United States with 35-inch tires.
That's what's amazing me. I mean, that sounds like a recipe for snapping axles, but it's a testament to two things: the quality of the machine that Can-Am's building, and honestly, just your feel for the machine. I mean, somebody who doesn't know what they're doing is going to snap an axle in the first 30 seconds. So, credit to you too.
Yeah. No, you definitely, with the 35s, you have to be careful for sure, but you can definitely overdrive it real fast.
Yeah.
So Chad has taken to some of the iRacing now that we've seen a bunch of the different side-by-side people. I think the Wellers actually have been doing some of this iRacing as well. At least Corey has. I don't know if she's let Jason in or not, but what's your thoughts on that? Are you going to try delving into that?
So I haven't played video games since probably 5th grade, but when I go up to Wisconsin, CJ Greaves, I stay at his house quite often, and he has one of the iRacings, and I raced it, a few times with him, and I'm definitely no good at it. I mean, it's definitely tough. It's really tough. I mean, it takes a lot of skill to drive this thing. So that's, they're really finicky on there. But I actually bought an iRacing setup. CJ talked me into it, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, but I still haven't took it out of the box. I mean, I just can't bring myself to playing it, because I know if I do, it's going to be like anything else. I'm going to put too much time into it, and then I'll never leave the freaking couch.
Yeah. I've realized real quick that the driving skill that I have does not translate to iRacing at all, because I can't feel in the seat of my pants when the car starts to rotate, when I'm losing traction, nothing. And the feedback I get through the wheel is not, what I would say is not realistic feedback.
Right.
It's there, it's something, but it's not real feedback. You know what I mean?
No, I've drove one, so I do know what you mean. But it is fun. I actually watched some of the racing that the guys were doing, but I mean, I don't know. Like I said, if I did it, I'd be too much into it, and I would probably end up staying inside when I probably need to go outside and mountain bike or work on the house or do something.
Yeah.
Totally understand that. Well, Kyle, we really, really do appreciate your time. And if people want to follow you, where's the best place for them to do that?
Well, actually not on my face. My Facebook's full, but on my Instagram, I don't even know my handle. I think it's like K Chaney Racing or something. I don't know what it is. I'm sure they can find me if they put in my name on Instagram.
If they really look, yeah, they can find you.
Yeah, I'm on there somewhere.
Fair enough. Well, we do want to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors. Of course, CW Motorsports, our title sponsor for this year, but we've also got 834 Powder Coat on board, keeping everybody good looking in their machines. Matt Price has actually got a new shop that he's building, so go check out his stuff on Facebook. And I know he's probably not thrilled about the fact that everything's shut down, but it is giving him some time to finish the shop. We've also got Spanx Fab on board, who can build you basically anything you need to get your machine race ready, including full cages, rock sliders, whatever you need, they can hook you up with it. And we've got Watch Communications on board, who is still foolish enough to host our podcast and our website, and has been a huge help to us over the past couple years. You can find us on our website at eminentperformance.com or youtube.com/eminentperformance. We're also active on Facebook and Instagram /eminent racing. And if you want the audio version of this podcast, just go to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, any of those places, and look for Eminent Performance, and you're going to find us. And if you actually like what you're seeing, we would appreciate it if you take the time just to leave us a like or a comment or something along those lines, because honestly, any attention is better than no attention at all in terms of helping us grow.
Yep.
Chad, you got anything else before we close up shop here?
No. I'm just going to go back to crashing virtual cars and stuff here in a little bit, probably.
Fair enough. All right, everybody. Kyle, thanks again for taking some time with us. We wish you all the best on your 2020 season once that resumes, and hopefully we'll get out there and see you live a few times.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. Thanks for riding along with us, and we'll see you down the road.
See you guys.
See ya.